Hey guys, welcome back to the 14th part in this Python series on the Django web framework for Python. So in this one we're going to be talking about preparing the URLs for the registration system. So we don't really have a very solid URL system. Like you might notice when we go to the home sort of URL that there's no page there. It doesn't say that there's a page, it says page not found. So let's sort out all that stuff in this video. So I'm going to go to the URLs and we've got login at the moment. And I'm going to add another one because at the moment the user can log in but they aren't able to log out. So I'm going to use the built-in view in django.contrib.auth.views to log out the user as well. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to say log out and log out here as well. So when the user goes to /account/logout, then it should just log them out. I'm going to say log out there as well. And now we haven't got this template, so I'll need to define logout.html. I can just duplicate that for now, and I'm going to say logout. And then we can test that if we go to Chrome. So I've got my development server running. It's saying syntax error, so I've done something wrong there. If you go to the URLs, so I'm just missing that ending comma. So now we should be able to run that, and if we refresh, so the development server's running, and if I go to /account/logout, so now we've got that logout template, although it says it's the login because we duplicated that, we didn't change any of it. So let's say you have logged out. There we go. So now it says you have logged out, and I'm just going to get rid of some of that other stuff because I'll just say logged out here as well. Logged out, and we don't need this button. We don't really need this form here because there's no form on the logout page. It's just saying you have logged out. Well done. So we've still got a login here. We don't want that either, so we can get rid of that. And hopefully, okay, so that should be fine. The next thing I want to do with the URLs is I want to change this register link so that when the user clicks on register, it goes to the registration form. Now we haven't got that registration form defined yet, but what I can do is change the link so that it's going to be ready to go there when it's going to. So at the moment it's set to /account/navbarfixtop, which is something that Bootstrap left in there. So I'm going to go to the base.html, which if you remember from the last video is where this navigation bar is, and then I'm going to change the link to I'm going to change the link for this button here to be just the home, and I'm going to change this one to /account/register. So when we're going to register a new user, it's going to go to /account/register. So let's just see how that looks now. So if they click on register, you can see in the bottom left it says /account/register. So when they click on that, it's going to go to account register, which is really good. So that's working now. And the social network button is going to the home page, but this one isn't actually defined, which I think is a bit of a problem as well, because if we haven't got a home page, then a lot of people will sort of try to click on it and there'll just be no page there. So I'm actually going to set up a quick redirect so that anytime a user just goes to this, it's going to redirect them to the login page. So that's defined as, I think I'll just clarify, account/login. So they'll go there instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the main urls.py in the tutorial folder, not in the accounts folder. I'm going to write another URL, and this is going to be the first one in the list, so the first one it's going to check for. And I'm going to say it's going to start and it's going to end. So that's just nothing after the main sort of domain name, in other words, or this port 8000, then it's going to finish there. So now that we've got that, I'm going to say, I'm actually going to say a view as well. So we're going to make another view, and I'm going to say views.redirect. I'm going to say login redirect. It's just nice to be explicit when you're trying to name functions, I think. And I'm going to say name is equal to login redirect. Now we don't actually use these names yet, but later on you might find a use for them. They can be quite useful, but it's sort of something that we're not going to cover till later on, why we use those names and why it's good to define them. I just like to put that in there straight away anyway. So now I'm going to define login redirect. I'm going to import from tutorial views import login redirect. Now we haven't defined this yet, so I'm going to need to create that login redirect. So I'm going to go to tutorial, create a new file. I'm going to call this views.py, and then all I'm going to say here is from Django.shortcuts import redirect. So all this is going to do is be a very short view to redirect someone to a different URL. So it's going to say login redirect, and so anyone that goes to the home page is going to just get redirected through to that login page. So it's going to say return redirect, and then the URL which is going to redirect to, which is /account/login. So let's go and test that, see if that works. So if I go to the home, that's not working. So I've got another syntax error in the URLs. So this is in the tutorial URLs, and I'll go to this, and so I didn't put a comma on the end there. I often forget that comma for some reason. That should now update. And views is not defined, so we can say from tutorial, import views. Because if I'd have said this, which is what I had before, we wouldn't need this views. So that's the mistake I made there. So I'm going to say from tutorial import views. And the reason I like to do it that way is so that I specify that it's from the views.login redirect as opposed to something else. Or if I wanted to say import from multiple views files, I could be explicit and say okay, so I'm importing this as tutorial views, and then I could say something like tutorial views here, and then that would be very, very explicit. So if you had multiple views files that you're importing from, then that would be probably a better way to do it. But since we've only got one, I'm just going to undo all that and then leave it like that, just because it's a bit cleaner and easier to read. So now that's running, hopefully this is going to work this time. So if we go to the home, it just redirects straight away to that login page. So that's a lot better, because that means the users that go to that address, which is a very common address, it's just going to be your home sort of home page, it's going to take them to that login page, which is much better than it was before. So I think that's a really good start with the URLs. And now that we've got this register button and it's going to the register page, in the next video we're going to be working on this actual page which has the registration form for our newly created users.